What's up guys, it's Richie Rich back yet again, and in this video I'm gonna be talking about Richie Rich's 5 years history starting all the way from 2015 to 2020. Be sure to check this out. Say to the members of the Rich team, I did advertise that I would be doing like a 5-year reflection of 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. And the reason why I even I'm talking about these years, because like a lot of things actually started in the year of 2015 for me, and there was a lot of like trials and tribulations that Richie Rich had to go through. A very challenging year, 2015 was the year I started first working in gyms, it was my goal to like get a job as training inside different gyms. I would get help from, I guess this is from personal trainers, and I would speak to them of like what I would need to do to get like a qualification to work in a gym, cricket ground gymnasium. I spent like a good year inside there of like working with a great boss. That was like my legit real job, because I had jobs before, but they were always kind of like part-time casual jobs. But here, I was like, I had someone to report to, had the place where I was going to all the time. I was able to get holiday pay. I didn't know about holiday pay and all that. I was able to get it there, and I was really able to learn and gain so much experience working within the gym, because it was such a customer service role. Enlightening experience. What the funny thing about that is, before I got into the gym, I got into like a bit of kind of trouble where, long story short, like I owed a heap of money to some people that if this money didn't get back to them, I could have probably not been in that gym, if I just leave it at that. I don't want to get, because of that situation, I feel like that elevated me to get that job in the gym, because before I was working, but I wasn't really kind of like, full-time work, so that problem that I had, before, because it was the time I was in the gym, that's when I started doing YouTube videos. While I was at the gym, because there was a lot of time when I was there, because the cricket ground was next to the gym, there'd be a lot of free time where I could just, go on, YouTube and start developing ideas, So while I was working in the gym, anytime where there was no one inside, I already did my maintenance checks, everyone's like, the gym's looking on point, I would be like writing some ideas for like, upcoming YouTube videos, and I was actually uploading videos while I was at that gym, which was cool. So it both like roughly started around the time, and another thing that also happened was, this was the first time I had gone to, you guessed it, went to Canada for the first time. Went there, and I was like, yeah, one day I'm gonna, end up living there, and I'm gonna kind of make a better life for myself, because ever since I was a little rich boy, I'd always had dreams of moving to like either it was North America or just America general, because I always loved the whole idea of like the opportunities that you could get being out of there, and for me, I'm such an open-minded person, so I really wanted to have that experience. Well, when I was in Canada that first time, it was really terrifying, like Niagara Falls, by myself, and I was like, I remember taking that coach and being like, where is this bus taking me? A 3-hour drive from Toronto all the way to where that Niagara Falls is located. It's not too far to get to New York, so you're basically going towards the border to enter back into America, it was terrifying. But when I got there, it was like I got this new abundance of like independence. I was like, man, if I could get to Niagara Falls, to Canada by myself, I got up in the gym by myself, I'm starting my YouTube by myself. It's like I had all this kind of like new independence that I never had before, you know, and it's thus like it started to become more of like, I always knew if I wanted to do something, you know, you just have to do it by yourself. Don't wait for no one. Whilst I was in Canada, that's when I was looking to, you know, so like, you know, I've had like procedures done. I had an Invisalign treatment, you know, so I'd already had braces like when I was a teen in like secondary high school and that, but like my teeth over time just like, you know, started to like dismantle. And even with that, you know, I wasn't taking care of it. You know, every time I saw my teeth in the mirror, I was just like, I gotta change it. You know, one of the cool things with that from that gym was I was in an environment that I like to be at, and I was getting paid for something that I believe I was good at, even though I was very new to like being on the gym floor, you know, which is very important for anyone who is a gym instructor or personal trainer. They have to have that experience of being on the gym, you know, gym vibe, you know what I mean? You need to know like you know, how to make membership cards. You need to know like how to take phone calls, you know, that all comes with them, you know, experience, you know. Moving on to the next year, 2016, I felt like I also wanted to try my experience in a different gym. I decided to leave that gym / cricket ground in the end of 2015. Thus, I moved into everybody's favorite gym, Fitness First. I was completely out of my element, you know, because I went from being in the gym where I was like a team of 4, but when I was in the gym I was only one person and I was a junior manager, so there was always time to chill, there was time to rest. Second, I went to First, you know, it's like you have a team of like 20 people. You have the sales team, the ones who deal with just the teaching classes, you got the personal trainers, you even got the cleaning team that got, I don't know how they had their own names and Fitness First badges, you know. It's from going to that gym to Fitness First, it legit was like jumping back into school again. You know, I've never been someone who loved school, you know, I really didn't get too good grades. Didn't get along with people. I wasn't a popular person, you know, I just wanted my freedom. So to kind of get to that gym, and it's like the whole time I was in there I was always forcing myself to kind of be, you know, I don't know if anyone's had this, you know, when you're in school and it's like you, even if you don't have friends, you're forcing yourself to like get friends, or if you don't really like a girl, you're forcing yourself just to get a girl. That's how I felt like the whole time at Fitness First. And at that time I didn't have that kind of confidence backbone to just pick up my stuff and walk, as I learned like a couple years later, you know. Cause my confidence was way down when I was in that gym because I didn't want to be there. That's when the mistakes start to come. You understand this, you know, once you got low self-esteem, you'll try to do stuff so quickly to make sure that you're kind of you don't want to let anyone down, you know. Because I remember when I was in there, I was dealing with personal trainers who were like, you know, 6'2", like, you know, coming to 190 pounds, you know, really chiseled, and I was like, you know, this kind of slim, like young dude, like I was, you know. And it's like, again, I've never been someone who plays politics. If someone doesn't like me, that's cool, but that was a place you had to be like, we want. One time, this was the biggest mistake on here. One time I left the, I got to the gym late, like the gym opened from 6 in the morning, stayed late to like 9 or 10 in the evening. I had the keys because I was working on the reception when I first came in there. I accidentally overslept, and usually for it, the gyms opens at 6:30, but there's people queue there like in the morning because, you know, it's the working class, you know. So I remember coming in, I woke up at 6, and by the time I was gonna get to the gym, because I lived a few distance away, by the time I would get there, you know, I knew it was gonna be late. And what I made was I didn't actually call in the boss, you know, the manager, to be like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna get there on time, you know. I was like, oh foolish, let me just run there, you know, young and dumb, you know. So I will never forget that scene. Like I got there and the gym was like packed with this whole line that came all the way, stretched out from the gym all the way to the main road. And here is me, this like skinny black kid, walking there saying sorry, apologizing. And everyone was looking at me like they wanted to, you know, like chokeslam me like the Undertaker, you know. I just imagine having a feeling like you always wanted to not be at that place you were working. You know, it was around Fitness First time, like I knew that I couldn't be in the 9 to 5 stream, as like a lot of these dominoes are. You know, I mean, it was like everyone was so systematically programmed just to be like everyone else, you know what I mean? And it was a very hard. It was like just coming back to school again, and I hated school so much. So I remember it was like maybe just a month and a half. I just said like enough was enough, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't happy, you know. And it was funny. Once I actually left the gym, one guy I used to train with in there, he said he saw me. He saw me every day. I was miserable, you know, because the way they advertise it in those kind of commercial gyms, like a Fitness First, a gym box, a pure gym, those kind of like bam bam, you know, this is the gym, oh we got 24 hours, we got a sauna, you know, all those ones. You don't really know the stuff the staff have to take in, you know, and then still be at the front desk position being like, hey, how can I help you today, blah blah blah, Fitness First, you know, all of that kind of gym. I understood it, and I was like, okay, I never have to go back to that commercial, you know, kind of gyms. And that way, you know, I had to kind of change my plans. I had plans to go Miami in the summer, but because I left the gym so abruptly, you know, I didn't have any dough. You understand, you know, and it's like I wasn't getting paid off YouTube at that time, you know, so I was really stuck in this whole kind of rut. You know, a week passed, you know, I started watching like the TV show Power, you know, watching the Power TV show, and that kind of got me back on the track, you know, because I'd stopped training because it was such like a bad kind of post-traumatic stress, if you want to say that, you know, after being in that gym and things not going in my way. It was like, I'm back in school again, you know. So to get back, you know, I started training, started doing my YouTube videos, you know, starting like get more that kind of feel of doing, you know, something. Because instead of like, you know, trying to focus and like, you know, get to Miami, because Miami was always the goal. You know, I remember when my always main goals was if I was gonna go to, you know, if I was gonna go to that side of the world, Western world, it would either be like Canada or Miami. Well, I'd already did Canada into her. I did Canada in 2015. I said next step's Miami, you know, because around this time, you know, I was really starting to take YouTube more seriously. I was starting to take my training more seriously, and I was starting to see like the ideas of like branding. I was doing fitness or YouTube. I could just make my stuff my way, and you know, put a little Richie Rich sauce on it and make some money, even if it's not then down the line. So, you know, I started like reading some books on like, you know, starting businesses, you know, copyright and all that. I actually finished 2016 year strongly, you know what I mean? I was like doing YouTube. I wasn't in that kind of control of like that Fitness First, like isolated kind of prison, that school environment. I was free, you know. So I end up to Africa, you know, and keep in mind, I'd not been to Africa for 10 years before this. The last time I had gone was 2006, 2016. I just had ideas like I would go there and go film there, you know what I mean, like do this kind of like YouTube kind of vlogging and that. And yeah, it turns out, like I remember we jumped on the flight to Sierra Leone, West Africa, did a pit stop in Morocco, girl up Morocco, and then went to Freetown, Sierra Leone. The time in Sierra Leone was great. It was fantastic. It was such an eye opener, because for me, if anyone knows Richie Rich, you know, United Kingdom is just not my jam. You know what I mean? I think the world is such a beautiful place. UK just doesn't have any atmosphere, you know. So when I went to Africa and I saw like the openness and freedom, I was thinking of possibilities. Even when I was in Sierra Leone, with all the, you know, obviously the obvious, you know, problems that, you know, third world countries suffer, you know, obviously the poverty, the corruption and all that. At one point I was thinking like, I can do business there, you know. I really was, you know. I met like one of my good friends, if you've seen him on the channel, it's called The Legal Hustler, you know what I mean. He's appeared in some of my vids and that, and he was real cool. He told me like of what the situation is in Sierra Leone. It felt like when I went there in 2016, from how like bad my experience was in Fitness First, I felt like I kind of like triumphant at the end when I got to Sierra Leone. And at one point I thought I found true happiness, you know, because when I was in Sierra Leone, I found a woman that in a good bad way was gonna change my life, and I didn't know about it then. In the next episode, 2017 to 2018, so be sure to check that out.